Hey, if you're watching this, if you stop to click on this, I'm guessing you're probably pretty tired. And not just the I need a nap or I didn't get enough sleep tired, but that really kind of deep in your core, exhausted. That you are trying your best, juggling so much, and yet you still feel like it's not enough. And then you feel guilty to make it even worse. You feel guilty for resting, for asking for help, for not enjoying every single moment of motherhood and not wanting to play with your kids. So today we're going to talk about that guilt and where it comes from, what it does to us, and how we can begin to let it go. So let's name the core issue here. Motherhood is built on a foundation of unrealistic expectations. We're told we should be everything to everyone while smiling and meal prepping and maintaining a career and responding to texts within 5 minutes. We're expected to love our kids so fiercely that we forget ourselves and be grateful for it and always have a smile. And if we struggle, we're told we just need a little more gratitude or a massage or a bubble bath. And the result of all that is a generation of moms who feel like failures for being human. The guilt is not random, it's systemic. And it's the outcome of our patriarchal culture that has long told women that your worth is in how much you give, your identity is in how selfless you are, and your needs come last, or not at all. We internalize that messaging when we are really young, and we learn that good girls are helpful and quiet and agreeable. They go along to get along. We're also taught that mom guilt is just part of the job. So, of course, it feels wrong to rest, it feels selfish to say no, and it feels indulgent or like a weakness to ask for help. We've been programmed to believe that any act of self-preservation is a betrayal of that role of motherhood. So here's the truth that no one talks about enough. This kind of guilt does not make you a better mom. It makes you a burned out one. When we carry that burden of perfectionism and we overfunction, it shows up everywhere. It's in our nervous system with constant tension and anxiety. It's in our relationships with resentment kind of bubbling underneath the surface because we feel like we have to do it all and without much recognition. It shows up in our parenting, kind of snapping and losing our patience when we don't mean to, and then crying in the bathroom because we feel so bad about it. It shows up also in our bodies, like fatigue or headaches, autoimmune flare-ups, sleepless nights. And we start people-pleasing and over-functioning to try to manage it. We say yes when we want to say no. We keep the peace, go along to get along, don't rock the boat, and we pour from an empty cup and think that's what love is. But underneath it all, we feel invisible. We're exhausted, lonely, and quietly, deeply resentful, and yet we blame ourselves. We think we're just not good enough. There's something wrong with us, that if we were better, we wouldn't feel so overwhelmed. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the story you were told? These beliefs that you were handed growing up. So it's not your fault, but it is our responsibility to heal. That's in our control. We can't change culture overnight, obviously, but we can start unburdening ourselves from its expectations. And that begins with our mindset. As a therapist and a coach, One of the most powerful tools I teach moms and that I use is the practice of self-leadership. This comes from internal family systems. We all have inner parts that try to protect us and show up and do the perfectionism and the people-pleasing and the overachieving. These parts are trying to help, but they're working off a faulty manual written by generations of patriarchy and impossible standards. When we start relating to these parts with compassion instead of shame or criticism, something shifts. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm so lazy, I didn't get anything done today, you begin to ask, which part of me is feeling afraid that rest means failure? So instead of saying, why can't I just be more grateful? What's wrong with me? You might say, what if I could hold space for the gratitude that I have and the exhaustion that I feel? That's where the healing begins. When we stop fighting ourselves and start listening with curiosity, not criticism. And from there, we begin to rewrite the story. You're not failing. You're not broken. You're a mom doing her best in a culture that asks too much and gives too little support. It's okay to rest. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not love every moment. You don't need permission to be human or take a nap. So today I want to invite you to try one small shift. Choose one expectation you've been carrying that feels heavy and put it down. Maybe it's the pressure to spend every moment playing with your kids, or the pressure to respond to every school email instantly, or maybe it's feeling like dinner has to be homemade, everybody at the table, getting along every night. Maybe it's believing you should never take a break from your kids. So let that go. It's not because you're giving up, but because you're waking up. Waking up to your needs, waking up to this patriarchal bullshit, and waking up to your power, to your right to exist as a whole person, not just someone's mom. If this resonates with you, if you've been carrying too much for too long, I want you to know you're not alone. You don't have to figure this out alone either. This is the work we do together in the Burnout to Balance program and in the free resources I've created. So if you're ready to shift your mindset, reclaim your time, get out of survival mode, and not just look good, I want to support you. Click the link in the bio for the free meditation shift download. Start finding balance today.